Cancer, welcome to your special reading for Venus's transit of your sign. I did a thorough intro with some important stories because I do see some major aspects going on that are going to play out over the course of now, actually starting June 17th through August 11th, actually August 12th, when we end with a full moon in Aquarius at approximately 19 degrees. If you have anything in Aquarius, that'll be of special significance. Plus Saturn is near there, close enough for it to be Saturn and the moon together are a theme in and of themselves that I'll discuss in this specialty lunar full moon reading that I do. And then I will also be doing a reading prior to August 1st in regards to the conjunction between Mars, Uranus, and the North Node, okay, which are in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, okay, so is Libra. So both of those are going to be important for you and for everybody else, especially because we have like almost a perfect grand square in the sky, which basically makes a recipe for some radical change because Mars and Uranus are together with a future path being the North Node, okay? You know, for the whole zodiac right now, all right? And Uranus brings lightning change, all right? And Mars is like the action and the drive to, you know, get it done. And so I definitely see a lot of action taking place around that time. You guys have probably felt the built up for quite some time. I went ahead and I pulled some astrology cards, and I pulled, well, I was thinking about you guys and looking at your chart, I pulled astrology cards, I pulled some archetype cards, all right, I pulled some goddess cards, and then I pulled three main categories of things because it's going to be things going on in multiple categories of every sign's life, okay, and that's not accounting for your sun, moon, and rising. Or where your personal Venus is, okay? So I can't possibly know where all of your personal Venuses are, but just looking for you, okay, right now, and I'm gonna pull a tarot spread for each one of these, but you got the crone, and then you got Athena with the crone, all right? And the crone is indicative of like older people in our lives, even if you met somebody in passing that had an impact on you at one point or another, or an older ancestor, all right? And you pulled that with Athena, all right, which is a warrior, a goddess warrior, but this particular card, okay, is representative of Gemini, and also, which would be in your 12th house if you're a true ascendant, all right? And the crone has to do with like, and Athena together have to do with like inherited, a lot of inherited gifts, okay? And, you know, obviously one of your main gifts is intuition, but you may also have a lot of gifts going on in regards to Venus matters right now, okay? Aside from being, you know, attractive and having Venus shine its light in your first house or on your moon or on your sun, which is definitely going to up your attractiveness. While it's passing through, it also, you know, brings matters related to the second house and the seventh house, partnerships in this nature I went over in the intro, to the fore. If you are a true ascendant, this is going to really have an impact on your career, all right? And you may be going through a lot of changes in your career anyway because you've had Uranus passing through, all right, for the past few years, all right? And so, you know, and now that the nodes are in there as well, it's like the future is coming to the fore in terms of a major turn of some sort or another if you guys have had a major change in your career, okay? This will be, you know, popping off even more over the over this transit and of Venus through your sign. And I'm sorry, Venus rules Taurus, which is in your 11th house, okay? And then Aries is your 10th house. All right, Venus is what you call conjunct or quincunx, okay? It means it's 5 signs away from Libra, okay? Libra is also ruled by Venus. Typically, there's a problem with that particular aspect, okay? Usually the two sides can't reconcile, you know, and the key is finding the similarities, all right, when there's aspects between the two. In this case, there is a similarity. They're both ruled by Venus. However, one will typically rule in any given standard or pattern over the other. And in this case, I'm going to say it's going to be Taurus, because Taurus is going to have this massive, you know, conjunction with the North Node, Uranus, and Mars. Okay, so and again, the reason I was talking about your 10th house is because this will affect your 10th house of career as well as your networks. Okay, so there, you know, there's probably a push that you can feel on the periphery already that has been building for quite some time, but it will be a time of like change as well as stressors from other areas of your chart. Okay, which could come in the form of people that don't want you to initiate change in certain areas of your life. Okay, but that change is here. You know, there's not much, like, this is a recipe for towers, multiple towers, not just in your sign and in a whole bunch of people's charts. All right, there could be, you know, actual change. All right, and sometimes Uranus and Mars are needed. Okay, when a structure's been built on sand, like the tower is representative of. You know, when we don't change in advance, you know, or we stagnate in certain changes that we want, or that need to happen, you know, Uranus and Mars and Saturn can all kind of get together to, you know, on behalf of the universe to, you know, bring about that change, you know, of stagnant energy. All right, and that is what reaches a crescendo at August 1st, around the middle of the transit of Venus through your sign. Okay. You also have, this will also affect your 4th house of home, okay, because Libra rules your 4th house of home if you're a true Cancer ascendant, okay. So, and will, you know, it's going to be opposing, you know, Aries, and that, you know, it's 7/7 sign. So I do see probably, you know, for you, a great deal going on between your networks, your home, your career, on change. Okay. Furthermore, obviously, yes, you can have a major love partner come in, major increases or potential for increases, because there is you know, what's known as a sextile, all right, between Venus and Mars, okay, that are going to be occurring around the time on August 1st. Okay, so there'll be supportive measures from that. There'll also be supportive measures from Virgo, where the moon will be. Okay, so it's not like the sky looks all bad. Okay, it really doesn't. There's also a trine between the moon and Pluto, or, you know, around that time. And Pluto is massive transformation. So Pluto's at the end of Capricorn. So, you know, that's also going to be beneficial, okay? Because there are some major trines, all right, to this big change that's going to be brought about. And again, these are things that have been stewing for a long time, okay? Needless to say, that doesn't mean nobody's going to rear their head or anything. But what I see here is a lot of really great intuition. I've seen it for like all the signs, and, you know, most of the readers, you know, or viewers that tap in here, you know, tend to be like, you know, vibrating at a higher level, or in search of, you know, trying to, you know, gauge certain things so that they can, you know, better navigate, you know, certain times. So I see it as all good for you guys. I do see that a lot of you guys may have somebody on the periphery here, or in your past, all right, where you may have inherited a lot of gifts from, whether that be athletic ability, whether that be spiritual ability, intuitive abilities. I do feel like there's somebody here in the past that kind of looks over you, you know, that you may be thinking about a lot, that you're kind of trying to tap into, that's been kind of calling out to you as to some changes going on in your life right now, okay? You guys also got the goddess ruling Capricorn, all right, here in these Moonology cards, all right? She's conjunct or connected to Hecate, all right? And this particular goddess of the underworld, it's perfect because Pluto's in there, you know? So for you guys to pull that, I thought was great. Because Pluto's there, and Pluto will be, you know, she could see the past, present, and future, all right? She also is very close to dogs, okay? She had like a group of wild hounds that went around everywhere with her, you know, that were kind of like spirit hound guardians or something. But she knew how to live in the present, you know, she knew the past, but she knew how to live in the present and let the past die where it was appropriate to do so, to live in the present, and then the future would take care of itself, is kind of the message with her, okay? And I do see a bridge here, okay, following along with that. So I do feel like, and there's like a hand reaching over the bridge to the other. So I do feel like you have some internal protection here during all of the changes that are going to be like occurring over this course. All right. You also pulled 3 astrology cards. All right. Debilitated. All right. Which would tend to mean, you know, be a place of discomfort, you know, that maybe a planet is in a place where it doesn't belong naturally. Okay. Like Mercury in Pisces, you know, people can say, you know, that's a debilitated position, or, you know, of one sort or another. You know, it does not like to be in Pisces. You know, its typical home is Virgo. And you pulled Aries and Virgo here. So because you did pull Aries and Virgo, I had already stated in my intro that I thought Virgo might be a hot seat of some of these changes, either where from a person entering your life or important to you. I also said the same about Capricorn. All right. And I think one other sign. Anyways, I'll tell you again when I hit those spots in your chart. But your third card that you pulled was the altar, all right, which is Lunar Mansion 13, which is in the middle of Virgo. So I do think that this section of Virgo, in fact, it's going to be pretty close to where the moon is going through Virgo, you know, as we get a little bit closer here into August and up through to the end of July to the beginning of August here, all right, as the moon starts to pass through Virgo. This rules 4 to 17 degrees of Virgo. If you know anyone or have anybody significant in your life with placements there, or if you have placements there, pay particular attention to those at this time. With Aries, the message is to act. Of course, it's the ram. It starts out the entire zodiac wheel. You also pulled, on the T cards, you pulled Lion, time to act, okay? So there's 2 time to act cards. So I do feel like you're in this period of really tapping into intuition, not about something that's just happened, about something that's been going on. This is the feel of these kinds of things, especially leading up to this, okay? So Venus might be the catapult to help, you know, be the be a guiding force to this change, all right? As it applies to you, okay? I pulled some cards down here on archetypes, okay? Because I went through a big speech about how some strange archetypes can be at play in our life. So I pulled 4, and you got like Sigmund Freud, Yoko Ono, Britney Spears, and Sergei Gainsbourg, okay? All right, and like I pulled some clarifiers on them too. And like the feeling I'm getting here, all right, is that there's somebody that possibly has a lot of swords energy, but is maybe a cold person in one sort or another, that means a lot to you in your life, or meant a lot to you in your life at one point or another, or could currently, okay? But was dysfunctional in one way or another, but was very highly valued in their profession for their intelligence. Take it as it resonates, okay? But had a lot of toxicity and sickness on the inside in one way or another. Okay, this could be a person in your life now. This could be a person in your life from your past, okay? Everybody knows, I think, you know, Sigmund Freud is you know, well respected to read for traditional literature and classical psychology, but he was a pretty sick puppy, and there's been many changes since some of the things that he wrote on. You know, anyway, this person may, again, be highly respected for their intelligence, and when they speak to you, they may actually speak down to you, or think that they know everything, or something of this sort. This is, you know, the vibe I'm getting off this. I am getting that this is either a person that were or have been together with in the past, all right, sexually, like as a mate, all right, male or female, all right, it's about the energy, or are with now, okay? And if not, then that this may be a parental figure, somebody of significance here, okay? Because I pulled the 6 of Wands and then the 6 of Cups with it, okay? What I did also pull on that was an 8 of Cups, okay? So I think whether it's physically or emotionally, you have walked away from this person in your past, okay, or considering walking away from them now, okay? All right, and you may have walked in and out of this person's life. And the reason I state that is because of two other cards that I pulled over here, okay, that I'm going to get into in a minute. On this Britney Spears thing, it's like there's a lot of toxicity attached to this card, okay? That's like something of the, you know, like take any gamble you want on love because the high of toxicity is amazing. So I don't know if this other person is attached to this personality type as well, and if so, they may use, manipulation and their mind, you know, to try and keep you attached somehow. All right, but again, this is a person that's been in your life for a long time. This is not a new person. All right. Anyway, what I also pulled with it was a reverse King of Rods, okay? And there are some symbologies here for Leo. So this person could have Leo in their chart, or you could have some Leo aspects in your chart. Okay, take it as it resonates. But somebody here is out of sorts, either because of this, or this is a reflection of one or both of these individuals, which could be the same person. All right, I also get a main player during this transit, all right, that may come into your life or be on the periphery, because there's going to be several other stories playing out in your network, close relations, that you're going to hear about, you know, around the time of this transit, just because everything in this sky gets so crazy. You know, and this is this, you know, Gainsbourg guy, okay, which may be you or maybe somebody else around you, okay, but I get the feeling this is a older bachelor, may have been married before, but if he has, he's never been married again, or you know, your typical permanent bachelor that's afraid of marriage, kind of. And this could be this person's child, or this could be this person, all right? But it's like, again, a lot of like, this person looks like they're an expert at going cold and leaving relationships, and they don't really believe in love because they believe that, you know, they very much value beauty, okay? I mean, it says beauty is a promise of happiness and a guarantee of despair. Okay, so there's like a bunch of like sexual and masculine, feminine issues here going on around you, and somebody you're close with, you may have had family ties with, and or, you know, you that you're grappling with to grow away from at this time, that I feel like is kind of reaching a crescendo and has been on a boil for a very long time, if so. All right, there's also with Yoko Ono here, okay, it says like, yes is always the answer, love is performance art that takes place among the clouds, and love is not a dream, you can remember it if you want to. So I feel like there is something, okay, because the two cards that I pulled on her were the Star, Aquarian energy, very, very healing and touch energy. This is like, again, if you have Aquarius in your chart, this would be very important here. All right, and the Magician, okay? So I do feel that this is your state of being you're trying to manifest, or, you know, on an inward level, or this is somebody else, okay, that is a positive influence somewhere around you, or that may enter your life over the course of this transit, okay, that has a lot more positivity than these people, which seem to be stuck on feeding on ego and toxicity, fear, and old shit. And if this is old shit, even if it involves someone new that you're with now, some of this shit goes back like to your parents, to like, you know, and some of this may be abusive. I mean, there's some abuse here, you know, and a lot of ego issues. All right. So we also pulled, like, you know, and again, I told you there's going to be stuff with your career. You pulled ladder, climbing towards success, and boot. Increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. And I do see that you know, as long as you do that, you may hit like a very big leap on a project or in one end or another of whatever you're working towards, okay? You know, through this transit at some point or another, okay? We also have compliments from an admirer, and this was interesting because, on this Lion, the time to act, this is what you pulled on the Lion, time to act. 10 of Swords and the 4 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so again, this gives me the feeling that there's something that you know is over but haven't moved on from and are still hanging on to, okay? Or there is something that you're very discontent about, and it's like you're so out of sorts about it that you can't even recognize other offers around you. Or if you do, you feel like you lost out on them, and maybe you feel that you or somebody else rejected these offers, so now you just feel stuck. Okay, I get also a feeling of there's some depression and melancholy going on for some of you right now over the course of this transit that you might feel, even though you have Venus in your sign, just because there's so many planetary aspects that are affecting you right now and are going to affect you around this time, and they're big deal. So, all right. So you pulled like two other cards here. You pulled Queen Bee and the White Rose of Hope. So I asked what the Queen Bee was. And on Queen Bee, I get the Devil. Okay, that could be a Capricorn energy or highly toxic, addictive behaviors, codependencies, just not good. Okay, and that was showing up all over here. So this Queen Bee could actually be attached to a feminine that you are attached to or that was in your life. Again, I already described what that person was like on multiple levels. It's either 2 or 3 people down here, or it could be this guy. You know, I have the Three of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Cups. All right, so again, I feel like there's some languishing heartbreak here around this. So you either need to step into this Queen Bee role, all right, or there's some other Queen Bee around you that, like, you know, you feel blockaded off from because of these things. All right, that could have been a possible relationship or love interest. Maybe somebody resembling, you know, this higher, you know, octave over here, you know, of Venus, all right, with this, that might be a little bit artistic in one way or another, or a little bit exotic in one way or another. Either, I'm not saying foreign, she may have a weird, you know, name, or he may have like a name that's just a little bit different. They may, you know, just not look different, look a little different than your normal type. Anyway, we also pulled down here compliments from an admirer, and on the compliments from an admirer, this was interesting. You got Temperance, the Hangman, and the Six of Rods. So I feel like there may have been somebody here in the past that you did not take an offer from, and maybe because you thought that you weren't good enough to go after this person, or you would be judged by this person, or your friends would judge this person, or something of this sort. Okay, this person has Sag, Pisces, and the Six of Rods showing up here. Okay, but this could also be you, and this could also be reflective of stalling out or not responding to a potential something here. All right, Temperance is indicative of, you know, an Ace of Cups blend. All right, it's a Temperance, it's an Earth Angel. All right, it's very, very good energy. Also hooked to Sagittarius, all right? And Sagittarius' ruling planet is in Aries right now, okay? And will be going into retrograde. So there may be a period of like tracking back or coming off this Hangman. And the Hangman is like a higher state of being or consciousness. So either this person could have that, or you could have like been waiting on what you were gonna do, like back burnering something that felt very, very soul level important, that you may deem a victory, or that this person is victorious in one way or another. All right, but for whatever reason, one or both of you put it on pause, or have been on, you know, waiting, or something was left here and not pursued. Okay, we have here your commitment is being tested, and again, I already told you that some of you may be in a commitment now that's extremely unhealthy for you in one way or another, or your commitment to work may be being tested, okay? Because I pulled the Empress here, which the Empress is attached to Venus, which is in your sign and rules Libra and Taurus. So Venus issues, your placement of Venus, okay, as well as the houses I discussed, your house of networks and stuff is important here, okay? It may be your commitment to work because you got to get over a hump. You have fortuitous things going on for you to be able to do that. but I feel like, again, this is something to do with a stall out, because I get the Empress, the Ace of Rods, which is like a passionate new beginning, all right, a divine gift, all right, something new taking root, possibly with this person or something. But then I get the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which to me indicates that, like, you're either need to withdraw from something else you committed to, or your work with this person, if it's representative of another person, has stalled, okay? Or you are just stalled. You may be overwhelmed with all the energies that are happening right now in one form or another, but there is advice to push through, okay, with the time to act appearing here. And then with Virgo appearing here, like it says digest, which, and then you have a lunar mansion for Virgo showing up over here. Oh, and you pulled the Lover. So I do feel like there's like, there's some potential for love that may, a love story that may play out in one way or another, okay? And it may be with somebody you've met before that you didn't pursue, or it may be with somebody new that comes into your life that does not reflect any of these other toxicities that you decide to give it a go with, okay? Although you have a lot of other stuff going on right now, okay? And then you pulled these two cards, which I think are important. Oh, you pulled, besides the Queen Bee, you pulled the White Rose of Hope. And when I clarified the White Rose of Hope, I got the Eight of Rods in reverse and the Five of Cups. So I do feel like there's something here where movement, either in your current scenario, or communication with someone, okay, has been cut off, okay, and that there's probably dealing with a prior tower moment you may have had with this person, or potential or something here, or something that you wanted to go after where communication and or movement feels blocked. But there's a White Rose of Hope because the Eight of Rods is in reverse, and then we have the Five of Cups. All right, and the Five of Cups to me means, it's like he's lost his taste for wine, and he can just focus on what's going wrong or what's gone bad, which are the three cups that have spilt. Okay, so and he's missing out on the two cups behind him. All right, and at one point or another, when he stops mourning, then, he will be able to act. He or she will be able to act, all right? And it does look like there's some hope here, all right? So you may be getting over a period of mourning or something that happened with other relationships or just other things in your life, okay, that left you feeling blocked off for a period of time. On this, where's this? Oh, and it also pulled Judgment in reverse, okay, which tends to, again, mean that there was some sort of judgment or decision that either needs to be made that you've been languishing on for too long, change, okay, or some bad decision in the past where you feel like you lost out on something because of a bad decision you made, okay? And again, I already told you one of the characters here looks like he just cuts people off when he gets, if it's like, because he's really been in a frame of mind of purely mental and physical connectiveness, as well as some toxic behaviors because of and there's definitely somebody here that likes to keep him or her that way, or used to, all right? You also pulled Magic, and it says the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment to move towards possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. Okay, so you have to believe that it's a possibility before you can manifest anything in your life, okay? That's the basic premise of the Magician and the Upright to begin with, Gemini energy, okay? And I don't think these three people over here, this person right here, they believe that their shit does not stink and that they're about the smartest thing since sliced bread. And they don't have they're not in touch with their own emotions, but they think they're smart as shit. Okay. And they may think that they have a high emotional intelligence too. Okay, because of whatever that they just feel they have a very large ego. All right. And then you also pulled Divine Feminine. The frequency of Divine Feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all creation. okay? And I feel like you or somebody else around you has a very distorted view of males and females. I don't, you know, I think that this, I mean, like, that's one of the sayings over here. It's like, pure masculinity or femininity is not to be found. In other words, it doesn't exist, okay? And like, what did I just read on that magic card? You have to believe it exists to manifest it in your life, or to leave where you're at to go find somebody that can actually offer you that. Because if you believe it doesn't exist, then why would you ever move away from where you're at? Especially like if you're stuck with people that, you know, have you exactly where they want you and are kind of controlling in one way or another. All right, so I do feel like there may be some mother wounding here, you know, on your part or the part of somebody else, you know, maybe multiple people that you've dealt with or are close with in your life, okay? That have affected things here for you on this level, and these things are up for change now because Venus is moving through your sign, okay? So change for your own prosperity, change on the career front, and also a potential issue here dealing with your own, you know, love relationships here, okay, and possibly family relationships as well, okay? So that's what we have. Also down here, I know I got one other. Was it this? Oh yeah, on this you have step out of your comfort zone and the North Node, which the North Node is going to be in Taurus. So I do feel like whatever is going to happen here may reach a very large heightened space around the time that I told you, okay, August 1st and about the middle of the transit, okay? It may start before that time, it may have already started, but there's definitely going to be a large leap forward where barriers are more easily broken, okay? And we will, like I said, you will have a supportive trine between Uranus, the North Node, and Mars, okay, with the moon and Virgo, okay? And both of those positions sextile Venus, which will be in the middle of your sign. If you were born in the, if you were, you know, born during a Saturn transit through Cancer, when Saturn and Cancer click together, okay, it can form, you know, Saturn can be restrictive, so you may have especially felt restrictive if you did have Saturn and Cancer, okay, on certain Cancerian themes. And again, you may have had a constricting parent, constricting childhood in some way or another that left you feeling undernourished, or like you just had a lot of duties and there was like some coldness to it, okay? So natural ruler of Aquarius and Capricorn, but it's not like at its best, you know, place in Cancer. However, when it touches with important aspects like Venus or other important personal planetary placements, it can be binding, you know, it can create a binding bond, okay? Now, it's in a supportive angle, like I said, to Uranus and the North Node and Mars. So I do feel there will be an emotional bust through on anything that's kept you trapped, okay? But it's going to be beneficial, all right, and with positive, you know, trines there going off, okay, and they may particularly affect you in your home life, okay, as well as, you know, the fourth house, 11th house, and 10th house, okay. And then Saturn is in Aquarius currently. So I already think I said if you have any Aquarian placements, you know, that is going to be important, especially if they're in the latter decan of Aquarius, because it's part of the T-square on the 11th, okay, when we have that massive conjunction, all right, which is already like building up pressures now and will continue to get stronger. I mean, I'm sorry, I said the 11th, on the 1st. Okay, so it's like right around the corner. With this debilitation for Aries and Virgo, I'm going to do another special next week. Maybe not for you, but maybe for, because I got a lot more detailed. I like had to meditate and think on this because this is a very important month for a lot of the signs. All right. When you know, if you have a Mars in Cancer, it would be considered like, you know, Mars is, you know, not in its best place in Cancer, okay? Mars is the planet of action and war and drive, and sometimes it can get kind of watered down and misplaced in Cancer. So if it is in your Cancer, then sometimes that can be a hard thing to deal with unless you have something else beneficial next to it, like a, you know, like Jupiter or Venus or something of that sort. To help it out some, all right, or the moon or something, you know, but it can be very protective over home and family, and it can be very good for helping change and be, you know, being a very protective parent, as well as like helping foster change. Like if you were in the service industry of any kind and you served others, you can be very protective. If you were, you know, like studying to do something with child services or something of this sort, or with adoption or foster children or anything of this nature, you can really be a promoter of other people's rights, especially people that are at, you know, at risk or not protected in one way or another, okay? Because of, for any reason, you know, that they just don't have the advantage to fight for themselves sometimes, okay? That can be very helpful with that. If you have Mercury in Pisces, especially if you had it in the, like the ladder decan of Pisces, all right, with Neptune there, it can be very creative, and it's the higher octave of Venus. However, it can also like make your thinking a little bit hazy and fuzzy and dreamy, especially when you have six cup nostalgic relationships over here popping with these negative relationships and groups over here. For those of you that this is resonating for, it can make you like in a total like brain fog, to where like you don't think there's any way out, and like you're telling yourself that you're the one who's got it messed up because the thinking, all right, and the dreamy thinking, especially when it comes to relationships that have been long-standing or important on a family front or whatever front, okay? The good thing is Mercury moves pretty quickly. All right, so, you know, but if Mercury is there, you know, and it's funny because Juno is also nearing Neptune. So there could be like literally issues where your idea of a wife or mother, whether it's about you or somebody else or spouse, is under a fog of delusion. Okay, or and it possibly has been for a while if you have Mercury near there too. But you know, that is set to change, and you know, again, like there are some positive, you know, it's going to be positive for you, Cancer. If I sound like a Debbie Downer about any of this, I don't mean to be. I just want like everybody to get their proper coverage of this like month-long phase, because it's definitely going to be a big one. So that said, I'm going to pull a couple here on each one of these lanes. Okay. But I do think like whatever is stewing here, it's like whatever changes that you're going to go through over the course of the next month, you've been stewing on them for a while. They're not new. You know, it's just you may have felt stuck for a little while. Okay. But you're going to have a lot of positive momentum to make positive change towards the things that you want to. Okay. All right. So. Okay. Justice just came out in reverse, but my deck is reversed. So I want to pull some on this crone. How is this crone and this Athena card important for my Cancer, for the transit of Venus through Cancer? King of Wands in the upright. Okay. This might be you. It might be somebody else coming towards you. All right. Again, I already described, you know, some things about that person, okay, you know, or it could be somebody else, or this could be you in regards to your career, especially if you feel like you just may really buzz with like a lot of intuition towards creative projects in your career, okay, all right, and you may feel like you have a lot of support from past over current, you know, current ancestors or people that were important to you, okay? And yeah, Five of Cups is falling out on that. So it may have been somebody that you lost that's passed over, okay? All right? Okay. That you feel is like helping guide you through like some, you know, some major transitions on the fronts that I've mentioned, okay? Okay, we have the Three of Wands and the Five of Wands. So I do feel like this has to do with a work project for a lot of you, okay? Or some of these changes you're trying to make, all right? That you may feel like, if, you know, this King of Rods over here needs to be turned back in the upright, you know, and he is in the upright right here, all right, but I do see a Three of Wands, so there may be some, and a Seven of Swords is popping out, okay, some Aquarian energy is popping out, you know, I have a Ten of Cups in reverse here and a Five of Wands, so again, there may be a lot of feelings of cattiness around home and family, you know, that have been really abusive and hurtful here in the past in one way or another, or in your current scenario, that you're dealing with. I mean, I already mentioned those over there. Ugh. And you guys also pulled, which I never pulled, the Runner and the Chaser. You pulled the Runner and the Chaser, separation, a Grim Reaper, seduction, and a Golden Mirror. And again, this says you might be dealing with a narcissist, and I mean, Sigmund Freud, I think, you know, most people think he's a narcissist, so you may have had somebody like that as a parent, okay, that display, or as a mate, okay, that was not emotionally available and just kind of fed off your emotions, you know, off your emotional feed in one way or another, Cancer, okay. All right, but here it is up for transformation through this transit, and I do see a lot of things happening, so I just want to leave you guys prepared for that. And I will do other readings throughout, you know, as some of the transits that I've mentioned over Venus's transit through Cancer come up. Okay, I'll probably do like a 1-card draw for every sign a day or two before this Uranus thing. Okay, on this bridge, we have the Emperor and the King of Swords popping on this bridge with, this is interesting, popping on this bridge where this goddess of the underworld is associated with Capricorn, all right, and I have the Emperor, and then I have the bridge, this bridge, and then I have the Emperor and the King of Swords. If you have Gemini, Libra, hang on. Okay, I have the Moon. And I have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so the Moon here is indicative of Pisces or Cancer energy. It's also indicative of really, it can be very foggy thinking. Okay, I think that it's gonna get very clear, and has been building up as very clear, probably, you know, long before last week. But there was probably some sort of crescendo last week, somewhere before or after that full moon, that brought a lot of things to the surface. My like general readings got crazy last week after I started doing those. And this week they were as well. They were just extremely heavy. The energy's heavy. And it's like Pluto is, yeah. Eight of Swords, like this is a place where you could have felt tied up. And I feel like, again, you have passed over loved ones, as well as a lot of intuition here guiding you right now, and some things that have been stewing for a long time. Nine of Swords is falling out too. A lot of anxiety, ridden nights, and things that you've fussed over what to do about for a long time are going to start moving forward here over this month, okay? For those of you that choose to do that, you all have free will. But here with this bridge, I have the Emperor, the King of Swords, the Moon, and the Ten of Pentacles. And because this is popping over here where Pluto is, and this bridge, sometimes this bridge will show in readings when it has to do with like people on the other side. You know, your lost long loved ones or whatnot. Here specifically, or people in a dark place where like there is a helping hand, but you're not like tapping into it because of so much other pain and things going on. I'll see that bridge pop up in ways like that, all right? This picture looks like a child to another. So literally, if one of you have lost a parent, okay, this could be indicative of that parent, like trying to say it's okay to change again, you know, to transform things in your own life, all right? Especially if it was a father figure, okay? For some of you, I just see it playing out like that, because I have the Emperor, the King of Swords, the Moon, and the Ten of Pentacles. For others of you, it could be the same thing, but like you are literally making transitions out of or into new family setups, okay? And have a lot, and just the thought of doing that is bringing up a lot of memories to your childhood home at the same time. That's the vibe I'm getting here with this reading. And the emotions, they're connected, are very, very heavy, as well as like when you're in the moon, okay, you know, you can feel like this girl, like just like, you know, falling to the bottom of the sea here, okay, with emotions and memories here, okay. Father energy is indicated here with this Emperor and the King of Swords, okay. This could be a father and son, okay, dichotomy, all right. You know, this is Gemini, Libra, Aquarian energy, all right. But I have 3 kings on the board now, so it could just be that, you know, there is an Emperor that's possibly in your periphery or coming into your life, okay, around the time of, you know, of the next month, over the course of this, you know, transit here, okay, and through the 12th here, all right. I'm not saying, you know, and there's a lot of reprocessing here, okay, about some things, okay. Give me the Lover here. Okay, you have another Pisces card here. The High Priestess and Temperance, all right? That's Pisces and Sagittarius energy, all right? And over here you had, on this, Compliments from an Admirer, you also had Pisces and Sag, Major Arcana pop up. It was with the Hangman though, not with the High Priestess. The High Priestess is fully and guided by her intuition, all right? It's the counterpart to the, and the Hangman is, you know, it's a Piscean card, but it's highly tied to Neptune rather than just the sign of Pisces, whereas the High Priestess is attached to Pisces. So if you have Pisces in your own chart, or some Sag placements, or the retrograde of Jupiter, which also happens soon, which is also going to play into everything, you may feel like this super tap in to this like memory retrack, let me get back on track, let me make changes I need to make kind of thing. All right. Here. All right. Okay. And so now we have the High Priestess, and then 2 came out, so I'll keep them. It's the 8 of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So I do feel like some of this is on a work front, carrying a work project forward. For others of you, this also has to do with love, because we have the Lover here. Okay. And this 8 of Wands is here too, which the 8 of Wands was in reverse over here. So whatever has been stagnant, whether that be, you know, your communications at work or with another or whatever, it's like these things are gonna go forward, okay? 7 of Swords, you know, you may have felt like somebody was sneaky, or you may have been sneaky in one front or another, Cancer. If you're a masculine and this is resonating with you, you know, this could be you, you know, or you may just be like really tapping into your intuition on how to make the changes you need and get unstuck. And you just popped all over the place with me on that. Yeah. Which I absolutely see you doing, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, I want one more card. What else was I going to mention to you? So, you know, again, there is like this also, like around the 1st, like, you know, Pisces. Venus is trining, you know, it's sextiling, you know, Uranus and Mars and the North Node, but it's trining the South Node. So again, there is going to be also a strong pull that says, stay right where you are. Stay right where you are. It doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. You know, go back to stay with your old faithful and reliable. you know, or whatever it is, okay? All the old tapes and stuff will be playing at full load, especially with the aspects here to Neptune as well. So that dreamy underworld state is going to be extremely strong. However, what's stronger than that is the damn grand square. Just is, you know, it's going to be like, you know, Uranus, Uranus, and it's going to have positive aspect to Pluto to do that, all right? You know, Pluto is deep transformation, but it takes a long time. But when it like has a trine to Uranus and the true node and the frickin' Mars, yeah, that'll be done. Okay, whether you or somebody else. Okay, I have a Queen of Swords down here, right? Gemini, Libra, Aquarian energy, and the placements indicated. This could be you. This could be another figure in your life. Okay. But I do see here, there may be a move towards a new lover here. Or you may be moving towards this lover, one way or the other here. Okay? Because she's like looking this way and all these things are behind her. Alright? And it is down here with the lover. So, you know, again, there may be some new scenario or like some kind of, you know, listen to the intro. Because I don't want to go through that whole story that I did in the intro with everybody else. But definitely listen to the intro. I will be thinking of you guys. I will do some touch-ins. I'll pull a clarifier here for you on this. But I see a lot of heavy issues here. I see them as all good. I mean, I see this transit of Venus as being a positive and beneficial one to pretty much the whole zodiac, you know, especially people who can, you know, go forward with the changes that they want. I don't see your sign as one of the ones that's going to have a terrible time making changes. You know, some of the other signs may be a little bit more resistant, all right, that are part of the square, but the power of the Uranus with the true node and Mars at the top of the square is going to rule. Okay, so on this Ten of Cups in reverse, I get the Judgment in reverse, the Tower, and the Ten of Wands. So again, I feel like there was some sort of decision that possibly was made here in the past here that you feel like was a mistake or an error. I feel like there's been some depression. I got to be honest about that. And you or somebody you're dealing with, all right? And a lot of toxic friends and potentially lovers in the mix, all right? That have not been fulfilling on an emotional level or something here of the sort, as well as like this total rehash of the older generation. You're like going back to your childhood here. That's all like reaching some sort of like, you know, something that's left you feeling very Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords-ish, okay? And I'm not saying right this second. I'm saying over the past, you know, however many months. Now the King of Pentacles is popping out and the Empress is at the bottom of the deck with the Wheel of Fortune. So, what is the advice for my Cancer? Take this as it resonates. Definitely check your other placements if this one does not, because I'm trying to get detailed in these since I know, first of all, it's almost a month-long deal. And it's going to be pretty intense. So these things could show up in your periphery or people around you. But if it does, it's going to be like people in tight proximity to your, you know, home and family lives. Okay, it's not going to be like, I'm not talking about somebody that you're reading on the news here. Although some of these themes may pop up in the news. There might be some other news too, but. Ace of Cups in reverse, the World, and the Six of Swords is your advice from the universe. Death card is at the bottom, and the Ten of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands, and the Three of Cups, possible reunion, and the Nine of Pentacles is after that. Okay, so the advice here is that there's love turned upside down, spiritual, emotional fulfillment, Ace of Cups, for those of you this is resonating with. All right, the World, that is like, that cycle is closing and or over. You're stepping into a brand new cycle towards greater stability emotionally and financially. All right, Six of Swords. Okay, but this is an everyday minor arcana. It requires the action of getting in the boat to move to calmer waters. I see these things for the Cancer that resonated with this reading today taking place over the course of now through August 12th. I'm not saying you'll be totally done with whatever it is, but that's what's up to the fore, and a lot of it will. A lot of it will, okay? All right, a lot of it will. I mean, there'll be like a lot of the major inner work and a lot of the just daily stuff you have to do to get to another rung of changes you want to make is going to be pretty far forward. All right, by August 12th here. All right, some big positive things, and a Two of Cups just popped out on that. So let me know how it goes, Cancer, okay? Sorry, Cancer, I just wanted to clarify that the Grand Square is on August 11th, the day that like Cancer exits your sign, okay? So, and it's August 1st that, oh my God, yeah, July 17th and August 1st, which is kind of in the middle, that there's that trine between Uranus and Mars and Pluto and the moon. That's when that trine is. Although there's plenty of other squares in the sky at the time, and aspects, the aspects between the ones that cause a tower frequently, the square between Saturn and Uranus and Mars, and the true node, which doesn't need to be added to that mix, but is, is going to be going on, as well as a square between Venus and Chiron, or Chiron, the wounded healer, which is in Aries. All right, so it's like every single, there's several steps over the course of this thing that lead to the big crescendo, which is the August 11th, Venus exiting your sign, and this grand square in the sky between the nodes and the sun and Saturn, okay? But there are positive aspects leading up to it, and there are also positive aspects that day as well. So, you know, and I think that again, that some of like the recent full moon and stuff like that, as well as stuff that's been going on and stewing for a while, is been like, you know, this slow build up that's like, it's not going to be, I mean, it will be heavy for some people, but in a good way. You know, I mean, I'm only focusing on you guys and, you know, your networks here. I'm not focusing on a grand scale here. Okay, I don't do that in here on. So, I will see you later, Cancer.